If you think about that, he is 2 wins away from being one really famous superstar player. How he got to the final? Straight sets in the first and second rounds. Ramesh Krishnan took the middle set from him in the third. Jonas Svensson fell in straight sets in the quarterfinals in a match really delayed by rain, and as you saw partially on tape, he defeated third-seeded Mats Wilander in the semifinals in a couple of tie-break sets. Brad Gilbert. Now there is a player who is hitting his peak as we approach the U.S. Open. It starts, of course, a week from tomorrow. Gilbert playing extremely well. 28 years old. Piedmont, California is his home. He's ranked 9th on the ATP computer, and he's on his way up. He has won Memphis, Livingston, and Stratton Mountain. His road to the final, straight sets in the first and second rounds, and then look at this, how he comes from behind, losing the first set in the third, the quarters, and the semis, only to come back and win. Chair umpire for today's final is Paulo Pereira from Sao Paulo, Brazil. Very, very windy up top, and the wind is reaching the stadium floor. Edberg won the toss and will receive.
Under these conditions, Jack, that was an excellent choice by Edberg. Very windy and tough to warm up, real tough conditions. He won the toss and said, no, you go ahead and serve, Brad. I'm going to see if I can't get a service break early here.
Wide, 15 all. These players are as agile as any on the circuit, Barry, but does the wind make you feel a little bit clumsy because you can't get your stroke?
No question about it. As we look at the tremendously strong wind out here, it's tough to play. I think wind, for most tennis players, is the most difficult factor. I mean, you can play in dampness, you can play with a bright sun, you can play indoors with some noise or whatever, but wind, to me, has always been the most difficult factor out there if you have to face it. The one thing we might want to watch for here today, we talked about the softball that Gilbert has used so effectively against Boris Becker. Today he's playing a different type of player, except on the forehand. I think that Edberg will be affected by that softball. Edberg likes to create pace on that forehand. He likes to hit it on the run, so Brad could give him some trouble. There's a little shaky looking forehand from Edberg.
There's a tremendous amount of noise behind us, which perhaps you're picking up on our microphones. They're drying the grandstand court, we presume, so they can try to play the double simultaneous to this match, thinking that they may have a very short good weather window here. 40-15 opening game of the match, the ATP final. Whoa, that got in the jet stream. Brad Gilbert holds in a windy opening game. Going to be interesting conditions today. Stefan Edberg serves when we return to Kings Island. The second game of the match. It was a second serve by Edberg, about an 8-shot rally, and he puts it away on the backhand volley. Gilbert held to open the match, and now Stefan Edberg serves at 15-love.
Edberg with a very high toss, and in this wind today, that'll be another thing to watch. It's difficult, this kind of wind, to get the ball right where you like it on the toss. This is where Brad has improved. He's much quicker with the hands, a better volleyer. Watch the anticipation right here. Gilbert on the ball. Not only does he get to the ball, but he makes a fine running forehand winner. Yes.
Gilbert's tough with the passing shots. Edberg just does not look smooth at all. The toss, such an important part of the mechanics
Watch the scrambling here from Gilbert. The one-hander there, he pops the ball up in the air, stays in the point. This is what he does so well. Just digs and scrapes and somehow ends up with the last point.
That one sailed. Anything that gets up about 4.5, 5 feet that has any kind of impetus behind it is going to go long from Gilbert's end.
The wind coming from directly behind where you see Brad Gilbert at this moment. A strong wind. In some ways it's coming directly. There you see the flags behind, and sometimes that's easier than a crosswind.
Yes. On the other hand, it's not going to take a full stroke to get it down there. And all you have to do is meet the ball cleanly and direct it correctly. 30-40 and a break opportunity.
Watch Gilbert just ease this ball, as Jack mentioned there. Just kind of gets his racket on it, and the wind took care of the rest. Right down the line. Good shot.
Just
Stefan won this championship back in 1987, the year that Becker claimed he had his worst year, 1987. That's when Becker chalked up those 3 losses to Brad Gilbert. Now he has 4, including yesterday.
And I think there was some vindication on Gilbert's part to winning that, showing that it was not a fluke, that he has a style which helps him beat Becker.
The other thing about Edberg's serve, if you're trying to receive it, very difficult to pick which side it's going to go on. He's got the high toss. His swing is virtually the same every time. So from a receiving standpoint, you almost have to guess sometimes which way he's going to go, forehand or backhand.
just
Obviously the first double fault in the match. Deuce, second time around. As if Brad Gilbert needs any help getting to a ball. Earlier in the point, Edberg chopped a volley, which the wind held up. Brad Gilbert really fast. And at the end, which he occupies right now, he's going to be helped out by the wind. Second serve at break point here. Stefan Edberg double faults it away, and the toss, as you mentioned very early, Barry, is going to be a factor for him.
Definitely going to affect him. As we look at the last time they played down in Dallas, what a match that was. Gilbert was a very impressive. When he got the call, interestingly enough, Jack, he was at a Warriors game out in San Francisco, in Oakland actually, and they said, you got to fill in. He fills in and does great, beating Edberg in straight sets down there. But the other win, the only other win Brad has against Edberg, was back in Memphis. We were there that day. He beat him 7-5, 7-6 indoors on the Supreme Court. Very impressive win.
Gilbert has taken only one set on hard courts away from Edberg in their career meetings. But this is a different Brad Gilbert.
But he looks sharp today. There's nothing like a big win over a player like Becker to get your confidence going, and Gilbert definitely rolling now.
And he holds at love. 8 points to 1 on his serve. Brad Gilbert is way up in the opening set of the ATP final. Weaknesses, Barry?
Well, that serve through the years has been a big strength. It bounces high, tough to return. The forehand, as we've mentioned, sometimes very suspect, more when he has time for it. And today, obviously, he's got to attack that second serve of Gilbert if he has a chance at all. That's a good opportunity for him.
Serving with the win. Here are Brad Gilbert's strengths and weaknesses.
Brad obviously loves to mess up an opponent. He'll hit all kinds of junk at him. Good strength there. His second serve, definitely suspect sometimes. It'll sit up, and he's definitely got to hit those good passing shots today, which we've seen him do already.
15-all.
I think Gilbert's passing shots may be the most underrated part of his game. Everybody talks about the counter punching and the scrambling, but when he gets set for a shot, he can hit that passing shot, especially the cross-court backhand. That's his bread and butter shot.
Ooh. Does wind make these players more equal?
Wind's an equalizer, no question, Jack. The guy who's the underdog loves the wind because it sets up the ball right there. For instance, Edberg missed a volley that he normally would not miss on a good day. The ball coming from behind him had a tendency to slow it down.
You see the singles posts have been put in place.
Yeah, that's a big thing, actually. The permanent singles posts are much better. There you see it. They've got a distinct permanent post now as opposed to those temporary ones. And this net will be much tighter, which will mean that the ball hits it, it's going to take off. You won't see too many balls die when they hit the net.
Ooh. That one.
And that one died. Nice going, Barry.
Well, there's some mean spirits hanging around Cincinnati this week.
Watch it one more time here. Brad gets into this shot, but it kind of climbs the net, actually. Just got over. Edberg had no play on that ball. Watch the reaction here from Stefan. He sort of stopped and then went after it. 2 bounces.
Break point. Oof.
I'll tell you, against Edberg, you'd love to have 2 breaks because a guy that serves as well as he does, you're not going to break that often. Plus, he's dangerous on the return. Brad knows that. He would love to have won that last point. The wind definitely affecting Edberg's toss now. He's got that high toss. That ball's going to move around up there. Just wide.
And it's advantage Gilbert.
There is Tony Picard, the coach of Stefan Edberg, a former British Davis Cup player. This is Tom Shivington, who is a longtime friend and coach of Brad Gilbert's at Foothill College out in our neck of the woods in Northern California. Tom's put together a great record.
First foot fault called against Edberg. He's been getting nailed about 5 times a match.
Jim Zimmerman, who was in the chair yesterday on the baseline, called that foot fault.
Wide.
Advantage to Edberg.
Brad went on to Pepperdine University, where he only attended for 1 semester. Played in the NCAAs that year. Lost to Mike Leach, his coach at Pepperdine. Alan Fox, another former Big Ten, and I should say top 10 player.
Oh, just a block with the backhand does the job. Edberg will follow that serve virtually every time.
Watch the service motion as he comes in quickly after the shot, and watch it go right down the line. Good return from Gilbert. There's the cross court. Good deception there. Edberg was leaning down the line. Now watch how Gilbert will leave a lot of room open on the forehand side, just tempting Edberg to hit down the middle.
Creeping in on the baseline.
Yep.
Just inside.
And
Double fault number 3. And that's the second service game in a row that Edberg has double faulted away, and the raindrops have begun to fall on the court, we are told. We're up above, and the wind is blowing directly into our backs, and I can't feel anything falling up here. So maybe it's just a little sprinkle. It conceivably could even be moisture. It's being blown off the roof, which is upwind of the court.
Edberg changing rackets. Maybe that's his rain racket he just pulled out, but if you're in Brad Gilbert's shoes now, you want to keep playing rapidly here, because he'd love to tuck this first set away. Watch how quickly Gilbert gets down the line with the approach shot, gets set, moves quickly, but not only was he moving sideways, he was moving towards the net for that last volley. Good footwork.
And there's the roof of which we speak. You can see our camera position. And as you look at it, we are located just off to the left there. You can see a box shape. That's one of our monitors. And I suspect that the moisture they felt on the court was blowing off there. Yes. Hi, everybody. 15-30. And if you're Edberg, down 2 breaks, you're just hoping to get something together here.
Watch the swing now as Edberg tops that forehand, sees an opportunity, and goes ahead and hits the forehand volley on the full. They don't teach it that way, but when you get the chance, just go for it.
15-40.
Well, Brad Gilbert is a little bit upset with himself because he has given an opening to Edberg, and earning the second break. Don't miss that. Careless, he says to himself. Having gained the second break, you don't want to give back your insurance so quickly. Tough conditions. 2 breaks for Gilbert, 1 break for Edberg. Edberg's finally on the board. It's 4-1 Gilbert in the opening set.
4-1.
And Edberg proceeds to serve here. We'll go down to Linda Pence for a weather update after this point. Linda, how's the weather?
15 left.
Linda, can you hear us? Tell us what it's doing down there.
Yes, the weather is pretty bad down here right now. It's just starting to drizzle steadily, enough to make the court a little bit slippery. We saw Stefan Edberg, when he walked out for this game, already push his shoe across the court to test it for slipperiness. I'm sure that Brad Gilbert is hoping that rain will go away. He did have a rain stoppage in the first final of the 4 that he was in Washington, D.C., and the match was stopped overnight. He was up a set. He came back and lost to Tim Mayotte, so he's very anxious to get this match over with today. Jack?
Excellent point. Gilbert wants to get it done. In the meantime, Edberg appears to have gotten a wake-up call, and he's ahead 40 love, having broken Gilbert, and maybe he can shave it back to 2-4 here, Barry.
Could be. I was just thinking when I heard Linda talk about that, where are the covers? The famous covers at Wimbledon. Every time we walk around over there, they say, well, get the covers out, but it might help.
Such an incredible amount of money is being spent in the ATP Tour, especially the Elite Series tournaments next year. I wonder why a requirement hasn't been made that a tarp is necessary on every stadium court. You could cut down the delays 4-fold at least.
Foot fault.
As a tournament director.
That's a real good idea.
How do you like that?
Excellent idea.
Gilbert off the net court really took advantage. Great approach to the corner.
And again, helped by the wind, because Brad was in a little precarious situation. He was close to the net there. Edberg hit up what looked to be starting off to be a fine lob, and then the wind got it, stopped it. Brad put it away easily.
40-30. Edberg holds, and that's something new for him in this match. The 2-4.
Gilbert 4-2.
The ATP final here and the championship next year is going to be in that Super Series. $4 million expansion coming. They'll be adding about 2,000 seats, 8 more skyboxes, 78 new box seats, and look at the purse.
You know, Jack, Paul Flory showed me some of the sketches of what they've planned here, and as we mentioned yesterday, Paul has just done a great job, along with a lot of volunteers and people who've worked on this tournament so hard, and they have virtually every year had something new in terms of the facility. Brilliant get by Stefan Edberg. Not an easy ball there. Watch Edberg's footwork now. He's perfectly balanced. Comes over the ball, takes off immediately for this shot, and gets it low and eases it up the line. Good control at backhand of Edberg's. So solid. He's coming back strong. 9 of the last 11 points for Edberg. That's one of the problems, Jack, with starting as quickly as Brad did. You get to 4 love against a Wimbledon champion, and you say, wait a second, when is this guy going to wake up? When's it going to start happening here?
Stefan Edberg has found some strokes in the gusty conditions. He's made the adjustment. And he used the wind. No question he used the wind on that. Top spin going into the wind, and the ball just died as soon as it cleared Gilbert's head.
Well, he hit it plenty hard. You can hit hard from this side. Let's watch it one more time. Nice return off the forehand. Now watch on the full run. He'll take a good swing at this shot. Look at that. He really belts into that ball. As you mentioned, Jack, another angle here. Gilbert. Bradley watches it. Not too happy.
Wide, serving into the ad court at 15-30. As a player, Barry, do you start feeling schizophrenic out there? You're hitting for all you're worth at one end and you're barely tapping it at the other?
No, you really have to adjust in this kind of wind because it's completely different. But as Stefan did quickly there, he hit the first lob and it did nothing, and then he realized that he could hit almost as hard as he wanted to into the wind. The ball's going to stay in. I think it's much tougher to play with the wind at your back, frankly, because the ball is coming much quicker.
Competitors you're going to find, because the get off the first angled volley by Edberg was an extremely nice play.
It's a typical Brad Gilbert point. He does not give up. He just gets to that ball. Now back quickly, safely lets this ball bounce. Wise choice, and then puts it away from the baseline. But he was virtually out of that point a couple times. Didn't give up. Won the point.
40-30. You really appreciate the athletic ability, and that's what it is, just athletic ability of these guys, because you can't practice wind. That's a true variable, and you come out here and you try to play your game with your strokes, and it's a little bit crazy, but here we are in the 7th game of the match, and we're seeing some fine tennis under rather strange conditions. It tells you how great these athletes are. Excuse me. Advantage Edberg.
This is the point before, as Gilbert reacts there after losing that point. That is a typical Gilbert reaction. He lets off a lot of steam, but he does it well.
First ace.
Ace number 1 for Brad.
Came at a pretty big time. It's an underrated part of Gilbert's game. He can come up with the big serve. Late call.
Edberg.
Ala Pereira from Sao Paulo, Brazil, in the chair, will not make an overrule on that ball.
Advantage Edberg, a chance to even it up. Two breaks apiece. What bizarre momentum in this match. Gilbert winning the first 4 games, Edberg winning the next 3. We are back on serve in the opening set at the ATP. What a comeback already.
That is tough to do in these conditions. Long. The wind was behind Edberg from that side. You're not going to get too many in from that side. This was break point on the last game. Edberg lines up the forehand, hits it for the winner. He knows he's broken serve. Very happy. This guy knows he has lost serve. Very unhappy.
Love 15. Backhand volley. We've spoken of it many times, Barry. It's really a classic stroke.
Solid shot. And Edberg will cheat a little bit if he sees an opportunity. Watch him close in on this ball. Big step forward. Look where he ends up, about a foot from the net. Gilbert, I'm sure, will be watching that, because with this win, great opportunity there just to ease a little lob over. You know, service today so far, Jack, with these conditions, has not been a big factor. I think we're going to see more service breaks as this match moves along.
First serve percentage. Gilbert just getting the ball in play, and Edberg with a little more pressure on his second serve, and that would be reflected in the double fault statistics. Edberg has 3.
Well, surprisingly, coming into this match, Gilbert had served 29 aces, Edberg only 7 in the tournament to date. A little surprising. You would figure Edberg would have at least as many aces as Gilbert, but that's the one area Brad has improved.
The approach.
Brad's pointing to the end of his racket. I think he's referring to the mishit that Edberg hit on that last shot. It sure wasn't his ball, because he hit that forehand clean.
.40-30. Brad Gilbert's not upset. He may look that way, but this is standard operating procedure for this guy to have the pained expression on his face. Four games all.
Interesting when you look at Wimbledon and the French. These guys all lost in the finals of the French and Wimbledon. Some great players. Barotra way back in the 20s. Jack Crawford, one of the great Australian players in the mid-30s. And then Gottfried von Cram, who played that great match against Don Budge back in '35. It's no fun to lose in the French and then come back and get to the finals of Wimbledon, which is what Edberg did this year. Lost both finals.
And Gilbert finally passes Edberg. Edberg unable to put away any of those volleys because Gilbert was pulling him side to side.
Both players trying to hit behind now. Somehow Gilbert gets into that good cross court and finally passes Edberg. But before that, they were trying to hit right behind. Watch Edberg's footwork up at net. Good, quick hands. Gets back to the center. Looks like he has it there, and then finally gets past.
Oh. 30 love.
30, love.
Gilbert won the first 4 games of the match. Edberg won the next 4 games. Now Gilbert tries to swing the momentum back his way. One of the toughest shots to make also as he was approaching the half volley and had to deftly drop it over the net cord.
You could almost see Edberg right here change his mind at the last minute, say there's only one way I'm going to make it. Watch it from another angle. Now watch him bring the racket. See the racket come back, and that took the pace off the ball. Beautiful touch.
It's hard to bring that racket back when your body's going forward at the same time.
That's why the great ones, they all say that good hands. That was a good example of fine hands there. Wonderful touch.
Just missed it.
Get it.
Not daring to go too high on the lobs. Edberg leaves them both short and pays for it. 40-30.
Very tough from this end now. The wind coming right at Brad. Gets one there. Stays up. And this one he does not put away with a chance for Edberg to get the ball back in play. Boy, I'll tell you, it has not died down. A very strong wind from actually coming right now into Gilbert's face from behind Edberg. Oh.
Edberg misses the backhand volley. Brad Gilbert is back alive, up 5-4 in the opening set. This is what the stadium will look like here just outside of Cincinnati next year.
It's a beautiful shot. They're expanding. You can see they're building more permanent seats around, some more boxes. And Paul Flory was telling me you'll be able to come out and have a nice lounge underneath. It is a fantastic facility here. When you think back that this tournament used to be played, Jack, out at a place called Coney Island. Before that, years ago, at a place called the Cincinnati Tennis Club. When I used to live in the area here, and it's just really come a long way. Great event. Actually, you'd almost compare the ATP Championships, I think, to the PGA tournament in golf. It's the Players' Championship, as the PGA is on the PGA Tour.
New balls. Passing shot by Gilbert. Scooping it up. Half volley.
Love 15. Love 15.
Feet. Edberg Edberg got caught in the middle of the court. Love 30, and Gilbert 2 points away from the first set.
To me, that's where Brad gets so tough. He does not ever hit that ball. He had a chance to go for the passing shot, but instead he just eased it right at Edberg's feet, caused the error, and now he's got 2 big chances here, 2 points away from the set.
And now 3 chances at the set. Figure this match, please. 4 games for Gilbert, 4 games for Edberg, and now Gilbert apparently is going to finish off the opening set.
Watch how cleanly he concentrates now on this shot. Just hits through the ball. Didn't even worry about where Edberg was. Watch the ball closely. Good play.
And he does. Brad Gilbert wins the opening set 6-4. And can you get 2 wake-up calls on the same day? I guess it depends on what hotel you're staying in.
That was strange scoring, Jack, as you mentioned. 4 love. Gilbert goes up quickly, then it looked like he had totally lost his touch. He comes back to win 2 quick games. He played about as well in that break game, though, as he has the entire tournament.
Straight, make that error.
You heard Gilbert, concentrate, don't make the error. This is about when he starts his commentary to himself. He keeps going. Yes. A wise play to let that ball drop and then hit it after it's slowed down, especially in these conditions. Little Swedish from Stefan Edberg. You know what he said, Jack?
I'm not even going to venture a
I could
guess.
speculate.
I think you could probably get away with more in Swedish than any other language. First double fault by Brad Gilbert, 30 all, and a chance for Edberg to exert a little pressure. I don't know if there is any pressure in this match. It's hard to tell. It's gone. The momentum has in such fluky patterns.
Edberg now starting to move in a bit on the second serve of Gilbert. I know that's got to bother Brad.
And a break chance. 30-40. Love won. Gilbert's success doesn't last long. Edberg breaks to open the second set. And 15 love. Now that was in. Gilbert's going to give it an argument, but the ball is clearly in. We can see it from here. There was space between the ball and the line. blocking backhand is so effective for Gilbert.
That's the shot he hit so well yesterday against Becker. He just took Becker's pace and blocks the shot. Watch this ball right up the line. Nice control. Pretty consistent up there in the top 5 since way back in '85. Edberg doesn't lose too often.
40-15. I don't know the answer to this, but has anybody else been ranked in the top 5 and stayed there since 1985?
I think so, Jack.
Lendl.
I don't. Lendl. Becker, I believe, has been up there pretty solid since he won at Wimbledon that first year, which was '85.
Late part of '85, yeah. The statistical analysis of the first set. Kind of an interesting pattern, as we saw an 83% first service percentage for Gilbert, which tells you that Edberg doesn't have much to attack.
Well, we said that was his one play, was to attack Gilbert's second serve, and as you said, Jack, there's been very little opportunity. Gilbert's serving better with more aces, too, and fewer double faults. And the double faults cost Edberg because he served him on break points.
Well, word comes from the truck that Lendl's the only guy besides Edberg who's stayed in the top 5 since '85. So. Becker's ranking at the end of '85, just to finish the thought, was number 6 in the world. .40-15 as the sun peeks through, and let me tell you something, if the sun comes out in full, this is going to be record mugginess. There is so much moisture in the air right now. It could turn into a steam bath.
It's also become much less windy. The wind has died down considerably. That's the shot we thought he'd use quite a bit.
Brad Gilbert holds. It is 2-1. Edberg up a break. Great get by Gilbert to keep the point alive, but in vain.
Good stretch here. Watch Gilbert way out of court on the full run. Tries to flick that ball cross court, but look at the length of that stretch by Edberg. Now watch some great anticipation here. He's back quickly for the overhead, stays up at net, hits the low volley. Now watch him anticipate right here. He starts to move before Gilbert made contact. That's why he got to that ball. Incidentally, our old friend Al Troutwig will be rejoining us at the U.S. Open after some time. Looking forward to seeing Al. Wonder if his forehand's improved at all.
I sure hope so. Jeez. I wonder if he'll recognize me without my Sherpa hat. Last time we worked together was at Nikiska. 2 solid service returns in a row by Gilbert, and it's 15-30.
That's the danger of that serve out wide. It's very effective if it works, but you also open up a huge angle for the return, which Gilbert hit right there.
Looking to break back, Gilbert is.
Yes.
3 in a row.
Just stayed in down the sideline. Watch this return one more time now. Gilbert comes over the ball. Good control there. They get a nice high bounce. And a football called.
The 3rd called in this match.
Gilbert requested at that last changeover that the lights be turned off. They have had the lights on here since the start of this match, and they are still on mostly, although I see some banks are starting to go off. There you see. They're dimming the lights in Mason.
Still break point. Gilbert has amazing speed because he should have been out of the points twice. Deuce. 2 break points saved.
Watch Brad now. He looks like he's out. He stumbles and somehow gets the racket on this ball. Sees another chance here and says, no way. Watch it from another angle. Good forehand. Look at him put on the brakes. He stumbles and yet somehow is able to come back, get the racket on the ball, just keep shoveling it back.
Yes. Stabbing the volley as Edberg tried to go down the line with the passing shot. Gilbert's not only showing the speed, but the quickness.
He was very clever getting in behind this now. There he goes. Came in kind of sneaking, and then he hits the good forehand volley up the line. Excellent shot. That was not an easy ball to handle.
3rd chance in this game for Brad Gilbert to break. Hit by Edberg. He spikes the ball. And we are 2-all in the 2nd set as Gilbert has broken back.
Watch the reaction here from Stefan Edberg. He mishits that ball, knows he has lost his serve. Not too happy, and you don't see that very often from this very quiet Swede.
Edberg with a reputation of being very powerful on serve. Let's go downstairs to Linda Pence for her observations. Linda?
Well, Jack, I was just talking to Gilbert's coach, Tom Shivington, about that run of 4 straight games in the 1st set, which he then were taken away from him by Edberg. And he said that it's really easier to focus when you're down or when the games are close, that it's hard for Gilbert and many other players to focus when they're ahead like that. He compared it to a pitcher in baseball, maybe being 7-up and really having trouble throwing good balls late in the game because he's so far ahead.
Linda, has the wind died down considerably down there?
It's definitely changed down here. It's very bright. I'm sure that's why Brad Gilbert asked for the lights to be switched off, because it's very dazzling already down here. The wind, although it was quite a lot calmer down here than higher up in the stands earlier, really isn't too much of a factor right now. I think, though, what's unusual, you were mentioning that Edberg's getting quite frustrated. He's certainly much more vocal than you usually see him. He's been stamping his foot. He's had a few words with the foot fault judge. Usually he doesn't say anything to the officials, so you can see the frustration is building up.
Gilbert just spraying it. Love 30, and having worked so hard to get the break back, he's in danger of handing it away once again. Above 40 and 3 chances to go ahead a break. Now both players are swinging their rackets at things and
it's amazing.
Showing disgust outwardly.
Jack, also on that last volley, it was not that tough a forehand volley, much less difficult than those ones he hit low up the line, yet somehow he took his eye off that ball.
Oh. It is beyond figuring. Edberg's up a break again. And a bad toss. Big second serve by Edberg, and Gilbert just wide on the passing attempt, 15 love.
What amazes me about Edberg, because we saw him get called yesterday 5 times at least in that match, but he does not change his stance at the net. He moves right up the same position, feet very close to the baseline. As we'll watch him set up now. Watch that left foot. It is very close, and he'll move, and then the right foot oft times will come in and touch the baseline. It did not that time, but that's what he got called for several times yesterday. Not the left foot, but the right foot swinging forward, touching the baseline before he makes contact with the ball. And it's not like one of the lines people is picking on him either, Jack, because let's watch it one more time here. There's the left foot. It moved. There's the right foot. That time it stopped behind the baseline, but sometimes it touches.
Just long, 40 love, and for Edberg, this is a run of 7 consecutive points. That right foot, if it's behind the ball of his left foot, he's fine, but sometimes it swings around, and that's when he has the footfall.
Game.
8 straight points to 4-2, and Gilbert needs hold of service here. Now this just off the top of my head, and I might be out in left field, but Brad Gilbert won the first set here. He's had tremendous success when he loses the first set. Is it almost necessary for him to be in early trouble?
I don't know,
That
Jack.
sounds crazy, I know, but
I think he would love to win most matches by winning in straight sets. And I guess a guy like Edberg, though, if you win that, get up to such an easy start like he did psychologically, as Linda mentioned, Tom Shivington pointed out, might be having trouble settling in now. A lot more errors in the second set. Oh, yes.
15 all.
15 all. Ever hit the string.
I think he just said, don't ever hit the strings. There's no question that when this guy's playing days are over, he's going to end up in the booth. He's a pretty good afternoon's entertainment.
You know,
on his own.
Rarely do players on the circuit these days win 3 tournaments in 3 weeks, and Becker did it as we saw there, but Brad's got a shot at it here.
Break point coming for Edberg to go up 5-2, and a couple of breaks here in the second set. Gilbert heaves the racket to the court as he is broken. He is now 2-5, and Edberg will be serving for the second set. Trainer coming out of the court. And let's go down to Linda Pence and see if she can shed some light on that. Linda?
Well, Jack, yes, Brad has asked for the trainer to come to the court. He is, I think, suffering a lack of energy, amongst other things, because he didn't get a chance to have lunch today. They were brought out on the court more suddenly than expected. He was told 3 o'clock, then the start suddenly moved to 2. It is very difficult to prepare when you don't have an exact start time, when there is a rain delay. And for tennis players, obviously very important to eat at a certain time before the match, eat the right kind of food. And so now I think he's suffering a little bit of exhaustion. He made a quip there during that last point, and now I need the rain before it wouldn't rain and he'd get this over with. And now it seems like he may need a little break to get some energy back into his game. Todd Snyder's the trainer, Todd Snyder's the trainer out there attending to Gilbert. He is the official ATP trainer. He travels the circuit like many of the players and is very familiar with some of the recurring problems that they have.
What was in the white bottle that he's got in his left hand, Snyder?
It's hard to see from here. I'll see if I can check with him when he leaves the court right now, but I think you'll find that it's some sort of glucose or any kind of energy-giving substance.
Grab that guy, Linda. Don't let him get away.
Brad Gilbert not feeling too happy about his game. He certainly needs an infusion of energy. Linda?
Well, Todd Snyder, the ATP trainer, said that Gilbert has a bad stomach.
Ooh.
So I think he's given him some sort of antacid to help him digest that a little bit better.
I tell you, if I'd lost my serve like he did in that last game, I'd have a bad stomach myself.
Ooh. First ace of the match for Edberg. Coming in the 18th game of the match, his 9th service game.
Oh, Gilbert takes a big chance with a backhand. That was actually a volley. He hit it like a ground stroke. I think at this point in the match, Jack, what Brad is saying to himself is try and conserve some energy, get ready for a third set.
Meanwhile, Edberg is serving better and now leads 40-love, has 3 chances at the set. See Gilbert, he's been all over the place. 24 matches in the last 31 days. And he's been getting his frequent flyer mileage.
Well, he went all the way over to Munich for that Davis Cup match, and I've been thinking that too, the last few days especially, Jack, just how long can Brad keep up the pace that he's been setting and win every day? Tom Shivington told me he played 12 days in a row, 12 competitive matches, and he won every one, so that's tough to do.
It's going to be tough to play the third set against Stefan Edberg, who has just closed it out with a clean winner from the backhand side. 6-2 to Edberg, the second set.
There is Tom Shivington, who's seated very near that end of the court where Brad goes over every once in a while.
Final set. Gilbert to serve.
He may be having some stomach problems too. Actually, Tom is some fine coach. He and Dick Gould, as we mentioned yesterday, have set up some great programs for a lot of small cities all around Northern California where they introduced the game of tennis to a heck of a lot of people over the last 10, 15 years. Ooh. Gilbert definitely in trouble now physically. He needs to have a small miracle here.
Second double fault, and Edberg on a tremendous roll, 17 out of 19 points. All.
15 all.
The wind has picked up again. Ooh, 30-15.
30-15.
Well, that's the kind of points Brad needs at this point in the match, some cheap points where he doesn't have to work so hard. Love to see that guy miss the return of serve.
Gilbert suffering some physical distress from holding serve to open the final set. This is the ATP final.
Far and not bad prize money here either. $77,600 to the winner. Finalist at $38,000. If you get to the quarters here, you pick up more than $11,000. Not too bad, Jack. I saw Rod Laver win the tournament in Boston a few years ago, and he won $1,800, and he beat Pancho Gonzalez in the final. So it's come a long way, prize money-wise.
And these fellas ought to be thankful that there were such stalwarts as Laver. And McKay was part of that.
I won about $340.
And ace, the second for Edberg. So as we enter the final set, the play is picking up. Really erratically played in the first two. The sun now in and out of the clouds.
You saw Edberg with the toss. He didn't like where the ball was. Starts all over again.
All.
15 all.
Serving into that ad court next time around. Take a look at Stefan Edberg's right foot, not crossing the baseline, but he's coming very close to a center line foot fault on his first serve. And that's a call you almost never see.
That's true. You see that tiny little mark there to the left of Edberg, as Jack mentioned, is the center service line marker. Got to stay on one side or the other of that, depending on where you're serving. Gilbert.
Two-handed swat volley.
Wow.
Not what you see at the clinics.
Watch this now. Gilbert just changes sides here. Takes the racket. Actually, in his left hand, goes ambidextrous. Hits the ball with the left. I've seen him do that for fun, but never in an actual point.
A friend of mine in Boston plays forehand from both sides.
I think Brad is really feeling bad at the moment. Sure looks it.
Good hard serve to the backhand side, and Edberg had moved over a little bit to the left of that service line, so there was no danger of the center line football at that time.
There's that foot, as Jack mentioned, very close to the center serve marker there, but he did stay on the left of it.
And a service winner to the forehand side, so both players hold serve as we begin the final set. This is the ATP final. It's coming your way live from Kings Island, Ohio, and Stefan Edberg and Brad Gilbert are trying to raise their game in what has been a most curious match. Gilbert won the first 4 games of the match. Edberg won the next 4. Gilbert won the first set. New balls.
15 love.
A little too fat on the backhand side.
30 love.
Thanks, Dad.
Just a miss hit. 30-15.
Gilbert lost a 5-setter in the first round at Wimbledon to John Fitzgerald. Then the only other match he's lost since then was that final to Tim Mayotte in Washington, played on a Monday. Amazing run. 22 out of the last 23 matches he has won in 2 tournaments in a row.
Come on. Touch it.
Wide. 30 all.
Gilbert telling himself to concentrate, and Edberg now taking advantage of that second serve, starting to move in behind it. Concerned Tom Shivington.
Make the serve there!
An emotional reaction per point from Gilbert at this juncture.
Gilbert continues to yell at himself out there. And I'll tell you, he's a competitor. One thing you know about Brad, even though he may not be feeling too well, they'd have to carry him out of here to stop the match.
Stand by for fireworks. Deuce.
Advantage, Gilbert.
Brad Gilbert holds. We are on serve. Gilbert up 2-1. Final. Edberg can use just about every square inch of his opponent's court.
Stefan playing well now, but you know, interestingly enough, in the last 11 singles finals that he's played, he has won just 4 of them. So singles finals are not his thing in the last couple of years.
Yes. Just catching the line. 40 love. Strong on serve. The records of the two in finals for their career. Edberg with a 19-17 record for 53% winning percentage, and Gilbert a little bit more successful, but he hasn't been there as often. Stefan Edberg holds at love. He is 8 points to 1 on his serve in this, the final set.
Gilbert's actually trying to recapture what he did down in Memphis back in '86 when he beat 3 of the top 10 ranked players in the same week. He beat Connors, who was then ranked number 4. He beat Anders Jerrod, who was ranked number 8. And he knocked off Edberg in the finals that year to win the tournament in Memphis back in '86. This year he's beaten Chang and Becker at this tournament, both ranked in the top 10. Now he's
15 love. I'm Jack Edwards along with Barry McKay and Linda Pence. We are coming to you live from Kings Island, Ohio. This is the ATP final, the championship match from the Jack Nicklaus Sports Center. Brad Gilbert and Stefan Edberg on serve in the final set. And Brad Gilbert leads 30 love in this, the 5th game of the set. Gilbert won the first set 6-4 with wild swings of momentum. Edberg came on strong in the second set as Gilbert appeared to run out of gas. Oh.
40 love.
It's been difficult for these players with all the rain. You don't know when to eat to give yourself enough energy to get through what could be a 3-hour match. It sounds trivial, but knowing when to eat can be a really important thing. You hear it talked about all the time during the Wimbledon fortnight because of the fluky weather there. Wide.
just wide.
14-15.
That's one of those balls, when you hit it, it looks good like 99% of the way, but you know it's starting to fade, and you just pray that somehow it'll get down and hit that line. Umpires have done a super job here this week. They've got a full crew out today. Edberg handles a very difficult dropping shot from Gilbert. Watch it here now. He gets that racket back early, slices in, gets in perfect position here. Now watch where he volleys this ball from. Way below the net, comes underneath it, the ball stops. Beautiful drop volley from the 1988 Wimbledon champion.
The ball being that far away from him actually helped him on the shot as it hit the very top of the strings, and he didn't get a good hard rebound. Long in the backhand approach, and Brad Gilbert has held the 3-2 in the final set. So after all the inconsistency in the early part of the match, we have a serving showdown when it really counts. Right, Stefan Edberg serving at 2-3 on serve, final set. Ooh. The stroke was there, the shot wasn't.
Gilbert with that pained expression again. He hit just the shot he wanted to. That's what's really frustrating. When you line it up, hit it, it feels good, and you miss it by a couple of inches.
Wide again, a matter of inches. 30 love.
Last time this tournament was won by a Yank, John McEnroe, back in '81. The Swedes have been so dominant here over the past 6 or 7 years. I remember years when you'd come to the semifinals, there'd be 4 Swedes or 3 out of 4. Very strong contingent.
The killing volley. Edberg has won 10 straight points on serve. He's 11-1 on serve in this set. And if it turns into a serving duel, that could turn into a very important trend if it goes to a tiebreaker. Long way from there, though.
Too short.
3 games all, and we arrive at the 7th game, which so many tennis experts say is the key game to a set. And this being the final set, it could be the key game to the match.
This crowd now coming to life. Tony Pickard, who has spent so much time with Stefan Edberg through the years, helping him win that Wimbledon championship back in 1988. On Tony's left, Annette Olsen, another good friend of Stefan Edberg's. Gilbert continues to hit this cross-court backhand passing shot so well. Look at how he stays down on the ball. Looks for a moment like he's going to ease the ball up the line, and then he comes cross-court with it. Very deceptive passing shot.
Just missed the volley, 15 all.
15 all.
Took him a while to put it away, but that forehand approach was so solid, Edberg couldn't do a thing with it.
30-15.
Using a lot of the 30 seconds between points, which is allotted. All, 3-all, third set of the ATP final. This point carries some significance.
Edberg has whatever slight wind there is down there at his back, and Gilbert is hitting those lobs into the wind.
That's long, costly error. And Gilbert just heaves the racket. This could be a code violation.
Code violation. Racket abuse. Forehand to Gilbert.
And he asked for it.
Yeah.
That was a good 35-foot heave.
Yeah, he knew it. He didn't even question the Paulo Pereira giving him a warning.
Quiet, please. Quiet, please.
Break point.
No, Edberg takes a chance, moves in behind. He loves to hit that slice backhand and come in, but
he makes the gesture with his arms, Edberg does, as if to say, I missed it by 2.5 feet. I didn't have to beat that close to the line. Just a good return in that direction would have set him up, but he tried to end the point immediately. A break point saved, and deuce. Time called by chair umpire Paulo Pereira as
tennis can rolls out underneath the umpire's chair.
Tougher than it looks, though. The ball was beneath the net cord.
Not an easy shot. Edberg had to kind of nurse that ball a little bit. He tried to ease it over. Just caught the top of the net. But Gilbert, again, keeping that ball low. That's the other thing that Brad is doing so well lately. He's concentrating when the guy comes into net on him. Doesn't worry so much about the player, but just concentrates on the shot that he's going to hit. Edberg wishes that that had been the last point on break point because he hit a fine controlled shot that time. Didn't try and do too much with it.
Go for it.
No brains is what Gilbert said. It's a little tough on himself. Edberg towels off. His second break opportunity coming here at 3 games all in the final set.
This crowd now appealing to Gilbert to win this point. They want to see this tennis keep going. Edberg has been very successful on break points. Good.
Slow feet. Well, Edberg implying the ball was out, but it was clearly in, unless there was something on the court that he was swiping aside. I'm really not sure why he reacted that way.
If he's looking for some of those bugs from last night, they are all gone.
They were swept and washed away. Deuce, third time.
Advantage Gilbert.
Edberg's so unhappy with that forehand. Boy, when he misses a forehand, you can really see it bothers him. The funny thing is, he misses forehands when he has time. When he's on the full run, he'll hit some magnificent shots. Give him a little time, and that's when he has trouble.
Out. And he misses another one. Brad Gilbert saves 2 break points and holds. We're on serve in the final set. Jack Edwards alongside Barry McKay. Linda Pence is our courtside reporter. On serve, final set. Stefan Edberg at 3-4. 9 breaks in the first 17 games of the match. In the last 8 games, 0.
Edberg making a bad error there. That was not a tough shot. And I maintain that if you win the first point on the other guy's serve in critical situations like this, it really gives you a boost, and Gilbert should certainly think now he has a big opportunity in this game to break.
Well, Edberg had won 12 of the first 14 points on his serve in the set and had won the opening point of each service game in the set to this point.
Oh, yes. Good recovery by Gilbert. That was not an easy shot. I thought Edberg had him moving the wrong direction. Watch it again now. Gilbert way behind the baseline somehow gets his racket on this ball, catches Edberg moving in, surprised him by going up the line. And now Brad a couple points away from a huge break here.
The first time in 6 service games that Gilbert has had as many as 2 points against Edberg's serve. So this is the chance that he has been waiting for.
Oh, yes.
He cracks a winner.
Big point, and Gilbert goes for the forehand, just brings it in. Watch the return of serve now. Gilbert, with a full swing, pulls over the ball. He wasn't sure the minute he hit it was going to be good, but it just stayed in.
3 chances to break and serve for the championship.
And there it is.
Brad Gilbert will serve for the championship of the ATP.
That is amazing. He breaks it love, but he played 3 big points to get there. Edberg missing an easy volley, but Gilbert did it. Hit the ball when he had to. This crowd really behind Gilbert at the moment. Well, they have seen him scrape and pull matches out all week long. He was down match point to Michael Chang in the quarterfinals. In big trouble yesterday to Boris Becker, and now he stands 1 game away.
In a row by Gilbert at the moment of truth.
That is incredible. He had a big first serve there. All he has to do is ease that volley in. and he elects to take a big swing. Missed it badly. Watch the swing now on a ball that was dropping quickly. The minute he hits that ball, he knows he's way over the baseline. That's it.
A winner by Edberg, and you talk about gumption. He comes back and answers the break with a break. On we go in the final set. Edberg at 4-5, serving to stay in the match. Pretty basic stuff from Edberg, 15 love. At the beginning of this match, we talked about strengths and weaknesses of each player and what they had to do to win.
Well, we said Gilbert needed to pass effectively, and he has definitely done that this afternoon, especially in that game when he broke. He caught Edberg several times. He has hit good passing shots, but he let a big opportunity get away from him in that last game.
And there's a passing shot. 15 all.
He's hitting out on the passing shots. He's concentrating well, staying with the ball. And as I said, he doesn't seem to be bothered where the opponent is up at net. Really concentrating well.
Edberg lives at the net. 62% though. That's not as high a percentage as he would like there. Soft in the wrist on the volley, and Gilbert at 15-30 against Edberg's serve is 2 points from the championship.
But again, from a difficult position, Jack, Gilbert was able to keep that ball in, not only in, but kept it low, and that was not an easy volley that Edberg missed right there.
All.
30 all.
Nope.
Another good low return. Championship point now for Brad Gilbert.
Thank you.
Wide. Oh. He was down on his knees pleading for that ball to drop in. A tough call, a correct call, a match point saved, and deuce.
Watch it again here as the ball eases up the line. It was wide. Brad praying that that ball's going to be a winner.
On bended knee. Advantage Edberg as he skips happily back to the baseline. for it down the line, but he was wide. Gilbert dumps the racket to the court. He served for the match and was broken at love. He had match point against Edberg's serve, and Edberg wiggled off the hook. Now it is 5-all in the final set.
That's the kind of shot, that forehand up the line. You hit the ball, it feels good, looks like it's going to win. Just wide. He's going to be thinking about that for a while. And believe me, if he does not win this match, he'll think about it for the next week at least.
Yes. 15-all.
Edberg loves to hit that backhand. Followed through so well on that shot. And believe me, he was backed up here. Watch it, because he is moving well back behind the baseline. Just enough power. Great accuracy up that line. That's such a tough shot to hit.
Looking forehand from Edberg a couple of times, just floating it out there. And now 15-30, pressure against Gilbert's serve. It's never land at this point. 5-all final set. No breaks allowed.
Same shot.
Brilliant backhand down the line. Gilbert spikes his racket again, and he is really tempting fate, having already been warned for a code violation.
This was a much cleaner shot by Edberg. He got the weight into it that time. He knew he'd hit the winner. Gilbert from another angle here watches it go right down the line.
First serve was good to the forehand side. A break point save.
Now we'll see if Edberg, if he gets a chance on the second serve, will move in behind it here. It's good.
Edberg just teeing off on the forehand, and again, Gilbert hurls the racket. Stefan Edberg has broken Brad Gilbert twice in a row, and now Edberg will serve for the championship.
Top spin. Watch it. The ball's going long. He's done it. And that's a very expressive Edberg. Watch Gilbert now as he watches the volley start to float. He knows he has lost that point. Boom goes the racket. A very disappointed Brad Gilbert. He has had the match on his racket, running up the line with that forehand passing shot. Needed about one more inch inside. He would have been the winner of this tournament. And now he faces a game where he must break serve to get to the tiebreak.
Oh, the net court denies Edberg, but a great return of serve by Gilbert.
That was one of the best returns Brad has hit all day, a wide serve, and he teed off on that forehand.
It is said by some that the Swedes don't play with fire. Edberg was 3-5 down in the deciding set. He now leads 6-5. Love 15. Finding something extra. But a costly double fault here to Love birdie.
And up in Montreal today, Yvonne Lendl looking very sharp with a straight set victory over John McEnroe. That was in the Players International Final, Canadian Championships. Those two will be heading for the Open.
Service winner to the backhand side, and 15-30. I would take Lendl in the Open.
Got to think about that a little bit, Jack.
Mr. DecoTurf 2.
It's been there a lot of times in that final, 7 out of the last 7 years.
Oh.
80 hours of coverage of that U.S. Open will be here on USA starting Monday the 28th, week from tomorrow at 11 a.m.
It was called
late
wide.
call, but a correct call. Gilbert's going to be mad. He's going to be mad. Well, the problem was that the linesperson thought she might be screened by Edberg, but did get a clear look. Let's listen.
Clearly out.
This crowd going to go nuts.
It was right in front of Paulo Pereira. We're sitting right on the line, Barry, and it was out. Tough call, but 30 all now.
Watch it again. Gilbert on the full run tries to get the ball somehow up that line. Very difficult to see on the replay, but from where we were sitting, it did look like the ball was wide. And Paulo Pereira confirmed the call. It was a late call.
30 all. Edberg 2 points from the championship as the chair umpire Pereira looks on.
Gilbert way inside the baseline now, putting pressure on second serve. Yes.
Backhand passing shot. What he needs to win.
Edberg did not hit a clean volley there, gave Gilbert a chance to line up the passing shot.
Thank you.
First serve.
First serve.
Edberg thought about it, but he just couldn't get to it by the time the thought had gotten all the way through. Brad Gilbert breaks to 6-all. Will play a tiebreaker for the ATP Championship.
You can't hit a forehand much cleaner than that one. Gilbert just laced up the line. Virtually the same shot as before, but this time he hits it clean. Beautiful shot up the line. Not much room to do it, and Edberg tried to cover, but it was late. Another angle. As we watch that great running forehand, he hits a good return here, takes off immediately for the forehand, and a big full swing. He knew he had the shot right there. Asked for the towel.
Just wide. Real hesitation on the call.
Yes, there was.
This one was not late, it was not loud enough.
Paulo Pereira, you heard him. It wasn't loud enough. It was definitely a delayed call, which is really tough when you think you've made that shot.
1-0 Edberg. Tiebreaker for the championship.
Gilbert's thinking to himself, I wish that had been a good serve because he hit a great return off the backhand.
Who is this? Please, ladies and gentlemen, as a courtesy for the players, be quiet during points.
Edberg saying that the crowd making a lot of noise between first and second serve deliveries.
1-1. Foot call. Partisan crowd, and that's exactly what Edberg is complaining about. Gilbert.
2-1 Gilbert.
And Gilbert has the mini break in the tiebreaker. So far, all 4 points have gone to the returner. 2 points off.
Stupid!
Very defensive Tom Shivington, Gilbert's coach.
Ace for Gilbert. Only his second of the match.
And what a time for it.
3-2 Gilbert.
Change ends after every 6 points of the tiebreaker play is supposed to be continuous.
Technically, it's all one game, but most players will take the opportunity when they cross over to grab a towel, maybe get a quick drink.
Good hard low return, forcing a long volley by Edberg.
4-3 Gilbert.
And Gilbert again has the mini break.
Some other very tense spectators, Tony Pickard, Edberg's coach, and his lady friend, Annette.
Gilbert's complaint. I didn't see the ball that was out that he thought was out, because I didn't see.
He's going to show you right here, Jack. Yeah, he felt that that ball was wide. Let's have another look here as Edberg hits wide on this shot.
That caught line.
Again, you can see the linesperson behind. Gilbert gives the safe call. And Paulo Pereira definitely could have seen that ball. He did not overrule.
And we're right on that line, too. Good backup overhead by Gilbert. It is 5-4 Gilbert, and he is 2 points away from the championship.
Yep.
Good call.
The lines person said she was unsighted, and it was definitely wide. Pereira, the umpire, picking up the call quickly.
Backhand passing shot. A second chance at the championship.
One of the best backhands he's hit all day. Gilbert rifles it up the line with very little room to hit that shot. Watch it one more time here. Watch how Edberg is covering up the line, and yet Gilbert somehow gets that ball past him. Beautiful shot by Gilbert. Knows he has it. Give me the towel.
Quiet, please. Thank you.
And that one landed almost in the same spot where the ball that went wide on the previous championship point landed.
It's true, Jack. It was almost in the exact same spot. Gilbert knows it, too. But now this is where he's got to pull it all together because he's got his serve for the match. Out.
17 straight matches Brad Gilbert has won, and he will carry the American banner into the U.S.